We've been on an absolute tear lately of great pickleball paddle releases, so much so that myself and many others have had a hard time keeping up. So in this video, we're talking about a few paddles that maybe slipped through the cracks and deserve some more attention. Some came out a month or two ago, some are very recent, and some are releasing in the near future. I've got an entire list of every paddle we'll be discussing on screen, and I'll be sharing my overall winner for this video at the end. Let's jump in to another paddle roundup. So we'll be starting out with the Thrive Project Fury, and I will start by saying this is an excellent paddle. In fact, I think if they had come out a couple weeks earlier or later, they would have gotten a lot more attention, and that attention would be very well deserved. And a quick note here, they actually just announced their elongated version of this paddle, which I have yet to hit, but it is coming out soon, so if you prefer that shape, they've got you covered there as well. So this is a Gen 3 floating core paddle that comes in a 15.5mm hybrid shape and uses TPE foam instead of the standard EVA foam ring to change the feel a little bit. It features some specific internal weighting to help with stability and a fiberglass layer, all coming together to provide a very complete and all-around power-focused paddle. And the Thrive Fury delivers on those claims with high-end power, probably falling in that mid-tier of those power paddle categories, and a lot of pop, but all with a good feel that isn't always there on poppy paddles. The Fury has a static weight of around 8 ounces, a swing weight between 111 and 113, and a twist weight between 6.2 to 6.4. But one of the cool things with Thrive is that you can select your desired swing weight from a few options to better fit your game when you make an order. All of this comes at a price point of $200, but that comes down to $180 when you use the code PickleballBlast at checkout. While every paddle can benefit from some weight, the Thrive Fury is one of those paddles that I really think doesn't need added weight out of the box. It feels really good and consistent from the moment that you pick it up. There's a lot of power when needed, but it's paired with good stability and consistency that opens up your soft game as well. Looking at the internals, the Fury is very similar to the Yola 4, which is a good thing, but adds in that internal weighting that I mentioned, as well as a fiberglass layer for additional pop. And real quick, if you're enjoying this video and you enjoy videos like this, make sure you are subscribed here at PickleballBlast to be sure to be the first to know about paddle launches and other various pickleball news. And up next, we have the 6-0 Ruby Pro, and I think their goal with this was to blur the line between new and old, sticking to what made the Ruby a popular paddle while fine-tuning and upgrading things to make it more relevant in today's game. And the very first thing that I absolutely have to mention is how freaking gritty this paddle is. I've never felt a paddle with this much grit, and that is thanks to the new Diamond Tough face material that not only is very gritty, but is supposed to have an increased lifespan as well. The Ruby Pro is a 14mm hybrid shaped paddle that features 12mm honeycomb cells and comes in at a stock weight of 7.92 ounces, a swing weight of 111.8, and a twist weight of 6.2. Now, I know one of the complaints about this paddle is going to be that people want 6-0 to do something new and not just revamp an old paddle, but I think there's room to do both. The Black Opal is a brand new paddle from 6-0 that is getting some good early praise and will fill that role of something new, but I think that still leaves space to update some crowd favorites like the Ruby with some of the technology that they've been working on. The large cell sizes, the Diamond Tough grit, and the power gel layer all come to mind here. I'm of course excited for the upcoming Black Opal, but the reality is that paddle is not going to be for everyone. So I like this update for the Ruby for those looking for an updated and slightly improved version of the Ruby that offers above average dwell time for a 14mm paddle for better ball shaping, and honestly is a good transition paddle to a 14mm core if that's something that interests you. Code PickleballBlast will save you 10% at checkout, and this paddle should be releasing pretty close to when this video is live. The next paddle in this list is the Gherkin Wraith, which was originally only given to co-hosts of pickleball channels in a fun little marketing tactic and just launched their pre-orders, and is an incredible paddle at its price point of only $121 after using the code PickleballBlast. This is Gherkin's jump into the Gen 3 space, and I think this is a really solid product, again, especially when considering the price point. It's a great way to dip your toes into a powerful, poppy Gen 3 paddle without risking too much. It comes in all three shapes, elongated, hybrid, and standard, and is a 16mm core with a CFC layup, meaning there is a fiberglass layer in the middle. I have mainly played with the hybrid shape, which I have here, which had a static weight of 8 ounces, a swing weight of 110.9, and a twist weight of 6.1. I think this is best for people who enjoy a stiffer feel and a good amount of pop off the face, because the Wraith definitely checks those two boxes while also producing very solid power with good, though not extraordinary, stability. Again, I think the biggest draw is that it provides an overall solid paddle with a slightly unique feel to it at a price point that really encourages people to give that Gen 3 power a try and see if it's a good fit for their game. Gherkin has been putting out some really solid paddles lately and have been doing so at an always great price point, so I think this is definitely a company to continue to keep an eye on. Next up in this list is the Selkirk SLK Era Power, and this is simply just a great paddle that kind of got overshadowed by the boomstick in my opinion, as they released the Era first, but there were already rumblings of the boomstick at that time, and it came out not too long afterwards. It was a great paddle in itself, but yeah, this is another example of, I think, if this paddle had a little more room to breathe, it would have been even more of a success. It hits hard, it feels good, it has excellent stability. I'm actually reviewing the numbers while writing this, and yeah, I'm in total agreement with myself that this paddle definitely deserves more love. It's a 16mm core and comes in two shapes, an elongated shape and a wide body shape. And while I enjoyed both of them, I preferred the elongated for my game. For that shape, it came in at a static weight of 8.04 ounces, a swing weight of 116.9, and a twist weight of 6.4. Plays very similar to the 11624 Power series, which you've probably heard before, thanks to the very similar, if not nearly identical internals. And I really like the 11624 Power series, so it's no surprise that I really like this paddle as well. Now, this paddle will not hit as hard as the boomstick. I remember in Selkirk's media kit for the boomstick, they specifically compared it to the Era as like a 13% or 19% increase in power, something like that. With that said though, this is still a very powerful paddle, and you could probably add some weight to bump that up even further. The Era is also $200 as opposed to $333 for the boomstick, making it a much more approachable price point. And when you use the code INF-PickleballBlast, you'll get yourself a nice little gift card to use on a future purchase. So to wrap the Era up, it's a consistent paddle with good power, a slightly dense, crisp feel to it that just works right out of the box and should definitely be on your radar. Up next, we have the Chorus Phoenix HX, which is their take on a power paddle. And I will say right off the bat, you will probably either love this paddle or hate this paddle. Personally, this is not the paddle for me, but I still want to recognize the latest here from Chorus, as it's a deceptively quick, powerful, and punchy paddle that will be the right choice for some people. The Phoenix is their first actual power paddle to make it, fully and completely to market after some approval issues with the Chorus Fire, their previous power paddle. And I think this new Phoenix is a step in the right direction. It's a 14mm core that uses 10mm cells and features their new Singularity core. It has a CFC layup with that fiberglass layer in the middle, but opts for soft carbon layers on either side, and comes in three shapes: elongated, hybrid, and standard. The hybrid shape has a static weight of 7.92 ounces, a swing weight of 113.9, and a twist weight of 6.7. Now, the turnoff for this paddle will be the feel. It is an incredibly stiff paddle, which if that's what you like, then this is definitely a paddle for you to check out. But similarly, if that's not your thing, then this might be a paddle to skip. That stiff feel helps deliver that high-end power and pop, but also likely plays a role in the average spin that I feel from this paddle and the slight adjustments that I felt I had to make in the soft game. The way the core is designed gives you excellent linear energy transfer, so if you swing big, you'll find big power, and you won't have any surprises in the mix, which can definitely be nice. It's priced at $170 after using the code PickleballBlast, so if this sounds up your alley, then definitely give it a look. And finally, I want to touch on the brand new Loco from Bread and Butter, because this thing keeps winning me over. I have a full in-depth review that I released upon the launch of this paddle, but I've since gotten the other shapes in the lineup, and I've actually switched over to rotating this elongated Loco into my main rotation. At least at this moment, the Loco delivers that kind of perfect blend of attributes for me. A power level that tops many paddles on the market, a dense, full feel that complements my resets and soft game, good ball shaping ability, availability in all shapes, and a swing weight that feels relatively quick in the hands, more so than the number would suggest. Now, there are paddles out there that may beat the Loco in one category or another, but all things considered, I have been playing some of my best pickleball lately with the Loco Elongated. The Elongated that I'm now switched to has a static weight of 8.22 ounces, a swing weight of 123.8, which is about the top end of what I feel good with, and a twist weight of 6.3, and features a 16mm foam core with a layer of EVA foam, making it a floating core design, which accounts for that high power, but also that more plush feel and ball shaping ability. I think the Loco is one of the most appealing foam core paddles on the market for the masses, giving you top tier power, but in a setup that doesn't sacrifice other attributes for that power. And it's definitely worth testing out in your preferred shape. Now, I do wish that it had come in just a little lower swing weight in the elongated version, giving me more room for customization, but that's really my only complaint with this paddle. And with it playing so solidly out of the box, I don't feel that added weight is a requirement. It's priced at $199, but you can save 10% by using the code PickleballBlast, and you can check out my in-depth video to learn some more details about the Loco. So that takes us to the winner of this bunch, which is always just a fun way to recap things in a video like this. And it's a hard one here because the theme of this paddle roundup was basically paddles that I think deserve some more love for one reason or another. So ultimately, I think they are all pretty solid paddles for one reason or another. If I allowed myself to include all of them, then my answer would probably be the Loco Elongated, since it's the only one that has found a more permanent spot in my main paddle rotation. But that paddle was a bit of an add-on for this video since it was just a new shape that I was trying out and I already did a full review. So I'm going to take that one off the table by putting it on the table apparently. So that leaves me with a really close competition between the SLK Era and the Thrive Fury. And they are even at basically the same price point, but I think I'm going to give the slight edge here to the Thrive Fury. It has that internal weighting, which is unique, plus plenty of room to add weight on the hybrid body. Again, these are all really solid paddles, and I think at least with most of them, you probably can't go wrong assuming that what I described aligns with your game. If you have any questions or any paddles that you want to see in the future, drop them down below in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the courts.